Yeah, good afternoon, students. In the previous classroom discussion topic, we discussed about how an array variable can be declared and what are the different categories of the arrays and how we are accessing the array elements that we seen in the previous classroom discussion topic. Now, in today's CDT, we are going to discuss about how these arrays can be initialized. Okay, so what are the different ways of initializing different types of arrays like integer array, character arrays, how we can able to initialize that we are going to see in this particular discussion topic. So now I would like to share my screen. So hope I think it is visible to you. Fine. So this classroom discussion topic is based on what we are calling it as uh, this array initialization. Fine. So this array initialization uh, will show you that the how we can initialize these particular arrays. Fine. So this is what we are calling it as here. The objective of this session will be it will develop the students' knowledge on how we can declare the arrays and how we can initialize the arrays and how we can use the arrays to write the programs. Fine. So now the outcome of this session is that after completion of this session, students will able to develop the code in C language using a one-dimensional array concept. So how we can able to array initialization. So an array may be initialized at the time of declaration of the array. We can initialize this arrays. Fine. So an array may be initialized at the time of declaration itself. So that is called it as array initialization. So the initialization is done for making the array. We are initializing some values. So this is the syntax we are following, that if you want to initialize the array at the time of declaration. So up to this it is called it as array declaration syntax. Then what we are doing here is that just we are assigning the list of values which we want to initialize in a curly braces. We are doing that. Fine. This is what we are doing here basically. This is what the initialization followed by declaration. So this is declaration and then equal to, so we are assigning these values. So id num of 7. So it is an array. Id num is an array which is going to store 7 integer values. These are the values which we are going to store in that particular array. Similarly, this is a float array, so which we are going to initialize 5.6, 5.7, 5.8 and then 5.9, 6.1. 5 float values we are trying to initialize that. And this is a character array, CHOL, which is going to initialize character by character. We are initializing that each individual character has to be enclosed in single quote. That you have to keep in mind here. So there are 5 characters, but we are taking one extra character, which is nothing but a backslash 0, which is called it as a null character. So that null character is to be separately initialized here whenever we are taking the character arrays. So this is character by character initialization. Fine. So this is every character array has to be terminated with the null character, which is called it as a backslash 0. Fine. Then initialization of array of type character can also be done by making use of this following syntax, which is called it as a string constant, which we can enclose in double quotes directly. So you need not worry about every character enclosing in a single quote. So like this, you can able to give that AEIOU in double quote you can give. It is a string constant. So but here how many characters are there in the string constant? See, 5 characters are there, but we have to give one extra. So because every string is terminated with a null character, to store this null character, so we are making use of this one extra space. Fine. So this is also another way we can initialize that. So you need not require to specify the size here. So you can omit the size. Automatically the compiler will determines how many characters are there in this string. So plus 1 is automatically it is created. So that means C compiler will automatically creates an array which is big enough to hold all the initialized values. Okay. Similarly, if we take int age is an array which can be initialized with these values. So how many values are there here? 5 values are there automatically. The size is automatically computed by the compiler as a 5. You need not require to worry about this specification of the size when you are initializing the array. Fine. So this point you have to catch. So now this is an example here, this C program to declare and initialize the array, and we are asking you to just traversal of array elements. Traversal of array elements is nothing but just you are trying to print all the elements in the array. Just we are making use of a for loop. This is nothing but traversal is nothing but printing each and every value from this array. Individual values from the array you want to print it. So declaration and initialization, this is called it as int marks. Okay, so you need not require to specify the size here. So size is optional. Okay, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, these are the values which we have explicitly listed out here. So now in order to traversal of that particular entire array, so we are taking array index is starting from 0. So totally 5 values are there, 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, then printf percentage d marks of I. So this is a loop which we are using for displaying of these array elements, that is nothing but traversal of the array elements. Fine. So then this is a reflection spot. Identify the wrong way of initialization of array from the following examples here. So what is the wrong way of initialization of the array? So is it right? Yes, you can specify the maximum size here. So here you have given 4 elements. So the uninitialized value, the fifth element is by default, it is taken it as 0. So here you need not require to specify the size. So automatically it will take 5. Int a here, so what is this? So you are using rounded braces, it is a wrong. So character name is equal to kids w, we are using a string constant we are using here. You need not require to use backslash 0, automatically compiler will insert that. So this is where character by character initialization, so you are taking null character. So totally 6. Fine. So this is also right, and this is also right. Oh, this is also right, and this is the C is the wrong way of initialization of the character array. So the outcomes are revisited here. After completion of the session, student will able to develop the code in C language using array concept. So summary of this session is that an array can be defined it as a collection of similar data type elements which are stored at contiguous memory locations. This is very important. So and the arrays are the derived data types in C programming language. So array may be initialized at the time of declaration of the array itself. So giving initial values to an array is called it as array initialization. So the array initialization is done just by adding equal to list of values which are enclosed in curly braces. If you do this, this is what the initialization is called it as. So these are the examples which are showing the initialization of different types of arrays. It may be a integer array, or it may be a float array, or it may be a character array. How we can able to initialize that? So that you can able to see here. So this is an example of showing the initialization of these various types of arrays here. So this is a lecture level practice problem here. So develop a C program to reverse the elements of the given array without using additional array variable. So for example, we have given an array like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what you need, so you need to reverse the array and print this array elements like this 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that means here you did not require to print the array in reverse order, but you have to do the reverse. So this and this should be interchanged. Okay, and this element and 2 and 5 has to be interchanged. And this should be interchanged basically. So this is how we are performing that, what we are calling it as a swapping of this reversing of the arrays and printing of these values. So is there any doubts in this particular session? So thank you and all.